Hi, welcome to the Industry Astrology Full Moon Forecast for September of 2021. The moon's energy is increasing. It's nearly full. How are you feeling? The moon is waxing, growing brighter, and on September 20th at 4:55 p.m. Pacific time, the moon will reach the end of the Purnima Tithi and begin to wane again. Intense, frustrated, maybe feeling misunderstood or defensive. This full moon has a lot of auspicious energy of wisdom and insight within it, although it's coming in a climate of a lot of polarizing views and stress. This full moon is also in the area of the sky, the nakshatra called Uttara Bhadrapada. Uttara Bhadrapada. That's a section of sky that's found in Pisces, sidereal Pisces. And so Pisces being the last sign of the Zodiac, and this nakshatra being one of the last stars as well in the Zodiac wheel, there is something around surrender, intuition, compassion, letting go, and honoring these cycles of life, death, and rebirth. The full moon is just 2 days before the equinox, the time when the powers of light and darkness are equal all over the planet. It's a time when it's actually falling on September 22nd, when the length of day and the length of night are exactly the same. And since ancient times, this is one of these potent moments when the forces are in balance. It's like a tipping point where we can connect and speak to a higher wisdom, connecting into the spirit world. And in fact, this full moon is opening the Pitru Paksha, the fortnight of the ancestors. So the span of time to come, the 2 weeks that follow this full moon as it begins to wane into the new moon again, is a very sacred time for connecting in with those who have passed away, people we've loved, who we've lost, and also to connect with our ancestors on a general level, our sense of inner guidance and intuition. If you've been feeling blocked or there's been dramatic kind of conflict in your life, it's no surprise. Jupiter is in a really difficult space right now. And for those who are in Jupiter Dasha or have this transit in a particularly potent spot, can be feeling a lot of maybe frustration, feelings of having to go backwards or retrace your steps, having to do things over again. Jupiter's transit in Capricorn began last year in 2020, and it's been difficult because Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn. So there's something stern, something limiting, and it's been inflated by the fact that Saturn is also there in Capricorn. So we had that infamous Jupiter and Saturn conjunction that happened on the solstice last year. Another one of these special times, like the equinox, the solstice, is when we had the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction. And this conjunction really seemed to be a sign of the times, because it was a very rare conjunction in which they came almost exactly to the degree together. This normally doesn't happen. And it coincided with the pandemic and so much social upheaval, economic challenges. Yes, Jupiter and Saturn coming together bring big collective challenges. The expansive, hopeful, broad-minded and liberal energy conflicting with the more conservative, more afraid or fearful energy. There's something that's it's like a pressure cooker right now. So this is the final pass of Jupiter in Capricorn, and it will continue until November 20th. But both Jupiter and Saturn are going to turn around. They're going to slow down and station. That means they stop completely and turn around and begin to move direct again in October. So something seems to be really coming to a head. There is a time when we're really maybe having to make decisions about certain topics or face certain challenges and really get things done. And, on a collective level, this is how resilience and strength is formed, right? Despite the difficulties and challenges, remember that it is just a process. that Jupiter is passing through right now. And by November 20th coming up, he will be onward, moving back into Aquarius and forward even into stronger signs like Pisces in 2022. If you'd like to find out more about how this last pass of Jupiter in Capricorn will affect you on a personal level, check out the Jupiter in Capricorn web class that I taught last year. This is a pre-recorded class that includes Vedic horoscopes for the 12 Vedic signs. Another thing that's complicating this time is Mars the warrior, the fighter. And he is combust now, and he will be through October as well. And when Mars is close to the rays of the sun, kind of burning up there can be a sense of needing to fight back or not really knowing what to fight against, feeling just disempowered. I feel like there's something about the equinox and this lightness and darkness and this balance that we can hold maybe different points of view together somehow, finding a sort of compromise perhaps, or just a way for different realities, different points of view to exist at the same time together. And this may be difficult, especially the part around communication non-violently and really listening actively, especially because Mercury is stationing soon and turning retrograde on September 26th. So just a heads up there. Also, we do have Venus very strong in the night sky in Libra, her own sign, Mula Trikona, which is supporting this idea of listening and awareness. I think this is a time we really need to actively try our best to really incorporate tolerance and trying to understand all sorts of different ways to resolve one problem. That there's a sort of higher truth that is guiding all of us together as a unit. That we, way beyond us, like our ancestral guides that protect us and guide us through difficult times. Okay, let's just see what the tarot cards have to say about this full moon equinox coming up. Okay, so the first card that came through is the Priestess. This card has so much to do, well, with the moon itself and this power of intuition and guidance that comes from within, from a deeper source. It seems pretty fitting for a full moon that's beginning this really auspicious time for spiritual reflection, Pitru Paksha, for connecting with our ancestors or people we've loved who've passed over. And Uttara Bhadrapada really is a very intuitive, very spiritual sign, nakshatra. And this higher wisdom that can be channeled right now seems to be, it's very potent. And then next to her, the fire, very different energy, the Princess of Wands. That's that Mars, I think, finding a way to channel this passion, this drive, this desire to be heard or understood, this need to be free, to defend ourselves or to take action that's autonomous. And finally, the Devil card. I feel like we've gotten this recently, haven't we? It's the Capricorn card, and it makes sense. And it makes sense that we have two of the greatest planets, Jupiter and Saturn, those outer planets, both stationing in the next month in Capricorn. Capricorn, it's challenging, it's real, it's limiting, it's sometimes motivated by fear or by a need to control the situation, which maybe not always is the best way to handle things, right? So finding this balance that I was talking about, this equanimity, I think, between the desire, the vision, what we know, we think, or know is true, and what we have to do also. Finding your own rhythm, your own breath. Find an equal stance, a place of enlightenment, a place of wisdom that sees all sides. Listen to your heart. Inside the limiting structure of this world is a potent diamond being formed under pressure, getting stronger, more resilient than ever. Trust in the wisdom of this earth, of your roots, of where you come from, where we all come from, a common denominator. Okay, well, thanks for coming to the Anandashri Astrology Full Moon Forecast. I do offer one-on-one readings on Zoom. You can book one on my website, anandastrology.com, Vedic astrology and tarot readings. And also, subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already. And I will see you soon on the next new moon.